Hey guys, me and Matt are here to review the best documentary of all time.
Yeah, it was so good. I can't wait to not talk about it.
So, we're here to review the funnest documentary to review ever.
And if you can't sense
We're being
sarcasm,
sarcastic.
Jesus Christ.
We're being sarcastic. Yeah.
Maybe I should say
So the documentary we're reviewing today is off Spot Fight Documentaries. So it's basically a guy doing documentaries on different wrestling topics.
Yeah.
And so far mine and Matt's favourites, what we've reviewed together, is the women's wrestling one. That was a good one.
The one we did last night.
The one last night about the women's eras. Yeah. And I've watched some of them. I've watched the Benoit one. That was all right. I know you won't do that one. I could maybe talk into you about doing the Benoit Dark Side of the Rings if you want to. You don't want to. Would be a good discussion.
It would be. I'll think about it.
Oh, have a think about it. Yeah. Would be a good video to do for the channel. But anyway, yeah, think about it. But yeah. So this documentary is about the dark side of Brock Lesnar. You can tell by Matt's face that he didn't think there was nothing dark about it.
There was no information they shared in that documentary that we didn't already know. We knew he was introvert. We knew he was a loner.
Yeah.
We knew he was a bit of a bully and a bit of an asshole. We knew all this stuff. So, we knew Jericho wanted to chew his nose off and have it for lunch, and he was a bit of a prick and stuff like that. But everyone knew he was a loner, and we knew about the attention he had with Dean Ambrose because he was an arsehole. Because that match could have actually been really good.
Yeah.
But he didn't give a fuck.
He's very lazy. He didn't want to do any spots Ambrose wanted to. But so basically what it's about is they talk about his career, how he got into WWE, why he left, his UFC career, how he owns his own farm, and he's a loner. He don't really like talking to people.
Again, but everyone's already known that.
It was information we already knew. And that's the thing with the Orton one. It was more interesting than the Lesnar one, but it was already a lot of information on new. Have you heard my Orton review?
Not yet.
Or you haven't? No. But
I will watch it though.
Okay. And then he just basically talked about it also mentioned Lesnar's involvement in Janelle Grant, Vince McMahon case.
Well, they didn't mention it more than a couple of
A
minutes.
bit. It was like 20 seconds.
Yeah,
They briefly mentioned it. They mentioned that he was mentioned in the lawsuit against WWE and Vince.
Yeah.
His name was involved in it. What gave it away with that was they said a former UFC heavyweight champion. And everyone knows Brock Lesnar's the only former UFC world heavyweight champion. Out of everyone in WWE, involved in WWE, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, why am I getting notifications constantly? You're not sending things, are you?
No, friends charging.
Exactly, yeah. But anyway, so they talked about that very briefly. Then they talked about his farm, how he owns his farm, and then it was about him returning in 2012.
Yeah.
When he F5 Cena, had the feud with Cena. When he busted him open, he fucked him up in that match.
He should have won. Well,
he should have won that match. Cena shouldn't have beat him in that match.
He busted him open on Raw, and then he beat the living piss out of him at Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
And the fact that Cena won with little chain and
on the steps. He shouldn't have won that match. No, that was bullshit.
That was stupid.
But yeah, and then it talked about Matt's favourite match ever.
So
him beating Taker's streak. They mentioned him ending the streak. And to briefly talk about the streak, we think that should have never ended, don't we? We think he should have just retired with being unbeaten at Mania.
I'm very opinionated about this, and I guess this is what it's for. It could have gone to one or two things. One,
a full-timer.
It could have gone to someone that would have benefited it for, like a Bray Wyatt or a Roman Reigns, or someone who was actually a full-timer, or have that being Undertaker's legacy.
Seth Rollins?
Yeah, Seth Rollins.
Would have been a good heel to capitalise on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
someone who was actually that could have actually made
Took
something
him
for
to
his
the
career.
next level.
Yeah,
Whereas Lesnar was already at that level, it
He-
didn't really help him.
he's won a main event of WrestleMania.
He was very established.
Yeah, so it didn't make
Yeah.
any sense. And originally, Undertaker was set to win that match, but Vince McMahon changed his mind last minute.
It'd be like if, say if, who's unbeaten in the last few WrestleMania? Say if someone new, say like,
I know AJ Lee's undefeated.
say Obafemi is in 5 years' time unbeaten in 5 matches in
Okay.
Mania, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then suddenly they get someone who's really established and won a few titles. Say someone like,
I guess Lesnar could come back and win him again.
say if it's someone like Seth Rollins. He's already proven he's one of the bigger main eventers. He don't need it.
No.
He don't need it.
No.
It should go to someone, say, like, who could help him go to the next level. LA Knight.
Yeah, LA Knight,
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes.
And I do actually think LA Knight has the skills to be a main eventer.
I think
He's good on the mic. He's a good wrestler.
great.
He
charisma.
connects to the crowd.
They love him.
I think he is good enough to be world champion,
Oh, I
but
think-
I don't
yeah.
think WWE do see it.
And this might be
He's been very
controversial.
unlucky with things as well. You know, like, if you've seen on Unreal, we will get back to the Brock thing in a minute. On Unreal, I don't know if you've seen this bit, he had the spot with Seth Rollins in the Money in the Bank match.
I think you might have briefly mentioned this before,
Yeah, but
but I don't think I've seen it.
it might have been an episode you ain't seen. It's on season 2.
Oh.
And on season 2, the plan was for Seth to throw LA Knight down and then hit him with the stomp and then get the briefcase. But LA Knight was down from something before. He forgot to climb back up and try and create like the false finish of him nearly winning it. And then he forgot to do that. And then Triple H had to go at him like, this was your moment and you fucked it up. That fucked it up. And then that thing what happened at the Chamber when he tried to do the bounce.
But that weren't his
That
fault.
was, it's just an accident.
And a lot
Yeah.
of people give him shit. And just think, he wasn't the only one to fuck up. He didn't fuck up. It was an accident.
And he just forgot to do the finish in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in the Elimination Chamber, even Finn Balor slipped.
Yeah.
Just think, that was like
They're
3
probably
hours ago.
slippy ropes, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They've probably got a bit of sweat on people's backs hitting it.
Everywhere. And so,
Yeah.
it's not their fault.
No, accidents happen. But anyway, back to Lesnar, because we're mainly talking about the... We only got distracted because we mentioned about the Taker streak.
Oh, that.
And then I said, if Obafemi was on a streak, I think LA Knight would be a good one to end it.
And yeah, back to the Undertaker thing for a split.
Yeah.
Undertaker should have not been his complete legacy, because you can't forget all the other stuff that he's done, but
That's mainly what he's known for, is the massive streak at Mania.
it became more important
Yeah.
than the WWE Championship.
It did, yeah. It was one of the biggest matches. It was always the biggest match.
That was the headline thing.
That's the thing, that if you weren't in a big world title match, you'd want to be in the streak match.
You want to be in the streak, yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a few wrestlers, like Edge being one of them,
He came close to ending it.
but he didn't want to.
No.
And I think there was another person that didn't want to.
I think they
either.
offered Kurt Angle to do it.
I can't remember.
And he didn't want to, yeah.
I know Edge said, I'm already... This is the argument. Edge said, I'm already a top superstar. What would I gain to end the streak? And he respected The Undertaker too much to say, no.
It should have been someone who needed to get put to the next level.
But even Edge said the streak should have never been ended.
No, it probably shouldn't have. But anyway, and then it gets to Lesnar's returning and F5 in Cena, and then him currently being back into WWE. I mentioned him going to UFC, or haven't
Yeah,
I?
he did.
Yeah.
Briefly, yeah.
Yeah. He did really well in UFC, in
Former
case you
UFC
didn't know.
champion.
Yeah. And it also mentioned a few incidents of him bullying and being disrespectful to wrestlers in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
When he wrestled in New Japan and he faced Nakamura.
He made Nakamura cry because
Yeah.
how disrespectful he was.
And then he had a pre-planned thing with Orton where he pushed him open, mate. Basically cut him up.
Yeah.
Cut him open. Instead of blading, he just opened him up with elbows. And it gave him a concussion. Jericho didn't know it was a planned spot. He thought he was shooting on Orton.
Yeah.
And then he got in his face saying, "What are you shooting on Orton for?" And then they got nearly into a fight, a physical fight. And then Triple H and Vince put them apart and separated them. But yeah, Jericho's got balls there, innit he, to square up to Lesnar.
That takes courage.
Yeah, I think he's one of those things where he didn't care who it was. He thought he hurt his friend on purpose, and he stood up for him.
And disrespecting the business.
And disrespecting the business, yeah. But yeah, and that was the documentary, and we're gonna rate it out of 10 in a minute. But our thoughts on it is we didn't think it was a good documentary, did we?
No, boring.
You were a bit bored, weren't you?
Yeah, because
I
they
was,
didn't really say anything that we didn't already know.
And that's the thing, it's called Dark Side of Brock Lesnar. They didn't really mention anything dark about him.
No. So
Did they?
It was a bit of a...
Unless he thinks Dark Side is him having sex with Janelle Grant, but...
Then that would have been the whole...
It was briefly mentioned, though. It weren't really a long story.
So it didn't count.
The worst thing, what they said he did, is probably injuring Orton, busting him open.
Yeah.
And that was a planned spot. It weren't really anything bad he did. It was a part of the story they were telling.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it wasn't the best of documentaries.
No, boy.
So, I'll rate it out of 10 than you, yeah? So, I'd rate this a 1 out of 10. It was a dull documentary. I'm glad it was for 26 minutes. So, it is shorter than the other ones. That's why we did it. Because it was short. Now we're going to do 2 Dark Side of the Rings. And I've seen them before. They're decent. So, I'm going to... Yeah, so we're going to review them for the wrestling movie and documentary project. So what would you give that out of 10 then?
I wouldn't even get it a 1. Because there was nothing to even really...
You didn't relate to anything to it?
So I wouldn't even give it a 1.
You thought 0 out of 10? 0. Is that one of the worst documentaries you've seen?
Because it was irrelevant. It didn't go with the name. There was nothing in there that shocked me and go, oh wow.
It kind of just reminded me of like it should have been called like the Wikipedia documentary of Lesnar. Dark Side. There's nothing Dark Side about it.
It was a false naming with that one.
Yeah. So Matt didn't like the documentary.
No, it was boring.
Yeah, and but I'll put it in the description anyway. And if you just want to check it out to see if you agree with me and Matt that it's dull, then you can. But
it's kind of funny if people actually liked it and actually disagree. That would be actually kind of entertaining.
That would be interesting. But
I would want to know what the smoking was.
So yeah, we'll end this now, and we'll be back in the next video. We're gonna review the Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth Dark Side of the Ring, so that could be interesting. So see you guys in a bit. Bye for now.